Upon starting up the server, we will have this login/signup screen. I'll quickly demonstrate some of the bad inputs. Once we logged in, we will see to the left a dashboard for the user. Currently, it holds default value as it's just signed up. We're able to edit annual salary, age, contribution type, contribution value, and collectively, when we have a history of records, we will have this years to date contribution. Let's edit this now. We're able to save this to the database. For the sake of demonstration, we'll use a user that has already hard-coded some of the contribution histories. Now that we see a history of contributions, finally, on the right, we have the Show Impact panel that allows user to stimulate future savings. They can slide their expected retirement age, switch between percentage or dollar contribution types, and compare their current versus projected saving. Let's do that. When user accepts the new plan, we'll update the database. Currently, it's on percent with value of 6. The database will be modified. I'll quickly go over the tech stack that I use for this assessment. For the front end, I use Tailwind CSS to provide styling and React for the app routes that fetches API routes from Next.js's backend, which then collects data from LowDB's JSON storage, specifically store JSON and users JSON. On a side note, I use cookies-based session tokens with hashed passwords that are stored in the user JSON to provide authentication. Next.js was chosen as it is easy to set up and provides a full stack experience. LowDB was chosen to avoid external database setup and keep everything contained and demo friendly. Tailwind CSS was consistent styling without the need to write repetitive CSS. If I were to have one more week to work on the assessment, I would have a persistent database integration. I would replace LowDB with a cloud-backed database such as Postgre or Firebase. It would enable real multi-user persistence, a reliable online history of tracking, and also secure scaling. The second thing I would have done is an interactive growth chart to add like a visual line or a bar chart that displays contribution growth over time using something like rechart or chart.js. I think this will make the trends clearer and help users visualize how small adjustments impact their long-term saving. The final and the most interesting thing I would have done is that I would develop a trending MCP, an AI agent for user to use on the dashboard. This is something I'm working on in my project team that is not on my resume yet. It answers questions for users like my cost of living is $3,000 a month. If I don't want to reduce the quality of life, how much should I contribute annually to have 200K by 5 to 7 years? These long questions can be answered through MCP with internal API. It fetches users valid data, and the agent can quickly and accurately display outcomes.